Now, as winter continues to bring freezing temperatures to much of the U.S., the Penguins have come out to play here at the New York Stock Exchange. The Pudgy Penguins native token debuted. Its Pengu native token of NFT project debuted at $2.3 billion market cap. As you see there, my co-host is right next to me. We have some of the Pudgy Penguin swag joining us in studio, and also joining us to discuss this more is Netz. He is the CEO of Pudgy Penguins. Did you see that shot, Luca?
I loved it. You made my morning.
I mean, I have the co-host here with me in studio. I also have some of the swag that you and your team sent over. I am loving this.
I love seeing it on the big screen.
I love it. Okay, well, let's just get into this conversation. First of all, let's talk about Pudgy Penguins. Tell us more about what you're doing in the Web3 space and how this actually works.
Yeah, so Pudgy Penguins is a cultural phenomenon that is onboarding people on-chain into the industry via the love of IP. And so this idea that people love IP, they love characters, and it is a non-intimidating and non-taboo way to ultimately bring people into crypto that I think is familiar and that people understand. Today, we're getting about 300 million views a day on social. We're selling hundreds of thousands of toys and products every single month. And we are the most beloved and relevant crypto character that has come out of the industry over the last couple of years.
And growing on the Solana chain, why choose to build off of Solana?
I think Solana has proven itself to be the consumer chain, to be the chain today that is onboarding the next wave of users. And we wanted to be where the new user growth is, and Solana seemed to be like the place to do it. And so it's been an amazing journey thus far. I think right now, Pudgy Penguins and Pengu has over 650,000 holders on chain, which makes it one of the most held on-chain tokens in the world.
But you know, the total supply is about 89 billion Pengu tokens. That's roughly 25.9% of which are set aside for members of the Pudgy Penguins ecosystem via an airdrop claim, right? So can you explain to us how this exactly works?
Yeah, so we gave about 50% of the token supply to the people. Ultimately, the Pudgy Penguin brand and the Pudgy Penguin character has always been for the people, by the people. And I think it was the biggest claim of all time at roughly $1.2 billion when that happened. And so it is all about distribution and getting people aligned. And ultimately, I think what Pengu looks to solve is the access and the democratization of access, for these assets for us. Today, our NFTs are about $100,000 a piece. There's a huge barrier to entry for people to participate in this cultural phenomenon. And Pengu allows anyone and everyone, whether it's $1 or $10 or $100,000, to participate in the growth and align themselves with the brand and the community.
Now, I do want to talk more about the upcoming administration as we are gearing up for the inauguration January 20th. How do you anticipate this sector will be impacted with the new administration?
I think it changes everything. I mean, for the first time, we have a pro-crypto administration, an administration that has participated in this space over the last couple of years. And I think it just changes absolutely everything. For us, I think it opens the floodgates. It opens the floodgates not only for regulatory clarity, but I think for opportunities and what you can and cannot do. And I think for companies like ours, and I think for the rest of the space, we're really excited to have a clear line of sight as to what the rules and regulations are. And we're super confident that this administration is going to provide that clarity.
How are you positioning yourself as a business to be prepared for the new regulations and policy shifts?
I think ultimately there's a lot of things, like I said, that we haven't done up until this point because of that lack of regulatory clarity. And so I think depending on what comes out will either give us a green light or a red light on what we can and cannot do. But it's important to note that the Pudgy Penguin business is very much a traditional business. I think last month alone, we sold north of 500,000 toys and retailers. And we have a content business and a licensing business that is growing year over year at a pretty significant rate. And so regardless of what the regulators and what the new administration does, the Pudgy Penguins, business side of the company is on a pretty clear path in terms of where we need to go next.
Speaking of where we go next, I do want to know what's next for Pudgy Penguins as we kicked off 2025. What are you looking at for the near term?
Yeah, I think, up until this point, I think we've done probably the best job over the last couple of years in terms of becoming a cultural phenomenon and being the character within the industry that represents the industry in the best way possible. A huge mission for us over the last couple of years has becoming the face of crypto, the mascot of crypto. And I think up until this point, we've done exactly that. But we really need to take it up a notch here in 2025. I would anticipate, what does it look like to have long form content, whether it's a movie or a TV show? We have two premier games releasing, one on desktop, one on mobile. And we have announcements and partnerships that I think just are going to continue to push crypto forward, just like Pudgy Penguins and Walmart was a historic moment. I think we have a lot more historic moments in store.
And we're going to keep an eye out for that. We look forward to having you back on the show to talk more about those news announcements and new products. I mean, right now I have some of the figurines and the keychains, so feel free to come back on and tell us more about it, Luca.
Excited. Thanks for having me.
Again, that was Luca Netz. He is the CEO of Pudgy Penguins.